Welcome everybody, Will here. I wanted to make this video today because I've been asked a lot about the recent book that I've created, and it's an ebook that I published and put out through Amazon and Kindle. A lot of people had questions about the book, and I was really happy about that. But there was also a lot of people just interested in the process of creating a book for themselves or to publish on there, and I got asked a lot of questions. So today I'm going to make this video. This is just an open question answer kind of video that I'm going to make today. I did not script this at all. I'm just going to tell you my whole experience, the thoughts that went through my mind, and how the process kind of was. Now, I might be leaving some things out because, like I said, I did not script this. So if you do have questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm going to start with the first off, the reason why I made the book and that kind of stuff. I had done so much research at this point, and I felt like I had a complete amount of work, enough to do at least an ebook. Now, an ebook for me, I'm not sure what they really define how many pages, but mine ended up being 28 pages total, and it seemed to be a perfect amount, and I am having some success with my book on there. So I'm just telling you what worked for me, what exactly I did, and hopefully this will help some people out there that may be struggling or kind of curious. Maybe this will kickstart your writing career right here. So let's get started with, I did have a nice chunk of work to deal with as far as write, kind of compose in my own way. The problem with the material that I chose, it was very limited. And the reason for that is I chose a subject there just wasn't a lot of raw material about. Itzhak Bentov and his views on meditation were very limited. He only spoke about that a couple times in his Stalking the Wild Pendulum book, in his lectures, a couple other little sources I've been able to find to include into my book. But that was it. It wasn't enough to do, a big, thick, 1,000-page book on his meditation. There was not enough material to create that. And I did not feel like filling it with any more fluff than the reader could really enjoy. I did put a few things in context wrapped around his beliefs on meditation in my book, but it's really my adaptations, my journey, and other kind of input that I thought might be kind of relevant to the book. So with that said, when I was done with it, and I felt done with it, it was longer than it was, and then I cut it back to 28 pages. I recently saw somewhere on there, and I just literally went through the process. I typed in Kindle book and just started going through, clicking this, creating accounts for that. I am part of the Amazon Authors Central. That's a separate kind of website where you can put your information in there and get a little bit more more views, I guess. That's the best way I can say. There's a few things you can do. I don't have a website for this book. I don't have any social media for this book outside of YouTube. YouTube really was a passion project of mine, and then I just turned it into a complete kind of work. I got asked a lot of times if there was a written guide for this. A lot of people wanted something that they could have and take with them that was something more visual, and so that's why I also made this book. Inside it is my guided meditation, the 5-step Itzhak Bentov meditation, and a few other things I was able to include in there. With that said, how did I actually write it? One of the best tips that I can give for a lot of people is, first off, choose a good format, whether it's Adobe PDF or a Word doc, somewhere where you can write out your stuff. One of the biggest things that I found that worked for me, and like I said, there's plenty other how to write an ebook videos out there, but for me, it was getting the backbone or the table of contents written. Once you have the table of contents written and it looks good and kind of structured, then I have kind of like a roadmap to start at or end at, or I can do any section in between at my leisure. and then in the end read it as a complete work and kind of restructure it and edit. And this whole process, especially because it's an ebook and it's only 28 pages, even though I'm doing this completely by myself right now, um, it was extremely easy for me to do. I'm 47. I have a little bit of technical knowledge, but this isn't what I've learned and know and I'm into. I say this because I do think anybody can grasp the simple ideas. They've made it so much easier through Amazon, Kindle, and these websites to sign up here. The other thing, this is a good point I should add, it was absolutely free to create this whole thing, and I'll tell you all the programs and stuff that I used here in a second, and it was completely free to list on Amazon. I will say that for my book, the least amount I could put in there was $2.99. That was the least amount because I wanted this book to kind of get out to more people. I didn't want to make this book really expensive for only certain people or whatever. I wanted this to be accessible. So out of $2.99, I get paid, I think it's $1.71 per book when they straight purchase it. Now, Amazon Kindle also has this lending library kind of thing. It's kind of a weird program where people can kind of borrow your book, read a few pages, and I get paid for that. That's a separate kind of little program that they have. There's a few other things in there. I can go in more depth later if people are really more interested in that. But I wanted to take you guys behind the scenes of how this book got conceived, how it got kind of written, how it got uploaded, and then now where I'm at. So I conceived the idea because I had a lot of material, and I got told a lot, hey, you have a book, you have an ebook on this, and so it just drove me and said, you know what, enough people are asking for this, I'm going to put this together. So the second was doing a little bit of research, finding out it's absolutely free to do this. 2 was kind of structuring it. I used a program called Canva. It's a free ebook kind of creator, and at the end it lets me save it as a kind of a ebook format that Amazon and Kindle like to work with. And what I like about Canva is I can copy and paste. If I already have written it somewhere else or I write something down and I want to use it in here, I can literally copy it and paste it in here. So that's how this book was kind of structured. It was a lot of things over time. It was a lot of editing it, that kind of stuff, and then adding some pictures on the end because I like adding a few. I think that's really what helps an ebook out is adding really good pictures. So like on my cover, I had a picture of a young Itzhak Bentov, which not a lot of people see. A lot of people see Bentov as an older gentleman who, because of his lectures and because of the pictures that a lot of people see. So I chose a younger picture, and it seemed to catch a lot of people's eye. The other thing I chose to do was inside the book there is places to add some pictures. So when that was all kind of done, I had read it a few times. I still wasn't ready. I thought maybe I'd sit on it for a while, but then I thought, you know what, this is such a great idea. It's just an ebook. It's my first rough draft. Let's get it out there. So I finished kind of editing it, and then I submitted it. Now, once I submitted it through the Amazon Kindle program, it told me it was going to take 72 hours before your book was going to be live. It did give me an option that if I wanted to set it up for pre-sale. So if you know your book's going to do really well or you've got some people waiting for it, there was a pre-sale option in there. But I thought, you know what, people can wait 72 hours. I'm going to post this up. That didn't cost anything extra. The only thing that costs extra is if you want to promote the book. They've got some ways to promote the book, and which I think were actually fairly good. I'm not doing that route. I really wanted with this book to cost me as little as possible and see what my experience was. But yeah, I've sold so far, and it's been up there for 2 or 3 days now. I've sold 3 books, and I've sold 3. It's the lending library. I got some royalties from something there. So far, I'm really happy with it. It wasn't about the money. It was always about the journey, as it always should be. The process of doing things, learning something new, and finding out what you like and what you don't like to do in this world. So I'm hoping that you guys got something out of this today. I will tell you a little bit more, but if you get a chance, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe. I'll continue to make these videos. The idea of mine is that if you've got a concept that maybe it's a little bit ahead of its time or something that nobody's really thought of, I really do think it's those little niche areas that are getting a lot more attention, especially from Amazon and from some of these other places. When your content, especially with YouTube as well, when your content is legitimately original, good things will happen. So try to keep that in mind. So right now I'm starting my third book. It's going to, I think it's going to be about Itzhak Bentov some more. I thought about getting into possibly the gateway process. There's a lot of people that would like some more information where we're at in 2025, going into 2026 about the gateway process. Have we learned anything else? Has any more information come out? So that's it. That's all I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I've earned it, please hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to get back to work, keep writing some stuff. If you have any comments, leave your comment down below. I do answer each comment personally. And as always, may your journeys be blessed.